overwhelming to think about all of the expenses you have as an adult. Between various payment dates and amounts, plus the temptations of spending money on fun things instead of boring, responsible ones, almost everyone can benefit from making and sticking to a budget. Budgets might sound tedious and boring, but it can be interesting to see how everything adds up, and even inspiring to see how your savings can grow and your loan balances shrink. In this section, I'll walk you through how to create your own basic monthly budget on paper. Then, I'll show you a completed budget for a fictional person that uses a real budget template that I use every month. Lastly, I'll show you the blank template and we'll fill it out together. When making a paper budget from scratch, I highly recommend using a pencil, not a pen, and a ruler to make sure that it all turns out tidy and easy to alter. Make sure you've got a calculator on you too. You won't need a ruler for these lessons since we have pre-made handouts. Make sure you have Worksheet 3, Monthly Budget Template in front of you, and we'll get started.
First, we'll add income. We're going to add a nice round number of $2,000 for your monthly income. Then, we're going to add the expenses. To make things simple, add the following to the left-hand column: rent, utilities, auto loan, auto insurance, gas and car maintenance, internet, phone, groceries, personal care, and savings contribution. Then put how much each item will cost per month in the right column. I also highly recommend adding a savings contribution to help make putting money into your savings a habit. Once you've filled out all the expenses, use your calculator to add them up and fill the total in the bottom space. You should have come up with $1,500. Now we'll calculate how much discretionary money you'll have each month by subtracting your expenses from your income. Discretionary money means spending money, or money you can use to buy things you want rather than need, like eating out or buying new hobby supplies. Using your calculator, subtract your expenses from your income and fill in the total here. You should have come up with $500.
As you can see, making a monthly budget is quite simple. It also helps you to visualize where all of your money is going every month. If you can stick to your monthly budget, you'd be amazed at how quickly your savings can grow.
This next example is an annual budget for Jane Doe. Jane makes $10 per hour, which comes out to $20,800 per year. One thing that you should know beforehand about Microsoft Excel, if you don't already, is that you can set it up so that it auto-calculates everything for you. For example, all of these blue cells have a formula typed into them so that it will add, subtract, multiply, or divide to give you your totals. For example, this box for January's total income adds together all of the income, which is cells 4 and 5. And this box for January's total expenses adds together all of the expenses from cells C8 through C18. Because of these auto calculations, Jane will never need to change the numbers in the blue boxes. She should only adjust her spending and income in the white boxes, because the blue ones will update automatically. If you glance down at the discretionary money section here, you'll see that the total income matches the total income for January at the top. These cells are set up to pull these numbers down. Same with the total expenses cells. So if Jane realizes she needs to make Thanksgiving dinner in November and has to double her grocery budget, all she has to do is change that grocery total cell in her budget. It'll auto-update the total expenses cell here, which will in turn update it here, so that this will automatically recalculate her discretionary money for that month. This number can vary from month to month, especially if she receives extra money or has an unexpected expense. Over in this column, you can see all of the totals calculated, so she can see how much she makes and how much she spends per year on each type of expense, payment, and contribution.
If you don't have Microsoft Excel or access to Google Sheets, you can always make a paper budget like the one we're going to do next. You'll just need to calculate all of your numbers yourself. Now that you've seen how a general budget works, we're going to practice. Flip to Worksheet 4, Annual Budget Template. I recommend having your calculator on you to make the calculations easier. You can use your phone for that. For this exercise, refer to the numbers that you filled out in Worksheet 3, Monthly Template.
The key to remember is that the white cells are for individual amounts and the blue or gray squares are for totals. We'll start with the easiest section, income, first. Most of your income will be the same from month to month. However, if you usually get a bonus at the end of the year, a tax return, or birthday money, make sure to add those in the proper cells so they're included in your totals. Once all of your individual amounts are in, calculate and fill in the monthly totals. Once you've finished writing in the income cells, we'll fill in the expenses. Remember that it's okay if your months vary from one to another. Once you've filled in all the expenses, go ahead and calculate those monthly totals. Next, go down to the Discretionary Money section and copy your income and expense totals into these cells. Then, calculate all of your discretionary money by subtracting those expenses from the income for each month. If you have a negative number here, or even a number under $200, you will either need to adjust your spending, like consider canceling some subscriptions, pick up more hours at work or get a second job, or dip into your savings a little that month.
Once the whole budget is filled in, take a look at the totals. How much spending money would you have each month? How much savings would you have saved by the end of the year, as long as you don't dip into it? Do you need to adjust your spending at all to make sure that you aren't living beyond your means? As you can see, maintaining a proper budget can help you make sure that you're able to pay your bills each month and help you to see where your money is going every month. It's okay if you are a little over or under budget. No one's perfect. However, try to stick to it as best you can to make sure that you have control over your finances and are prepared with a nice little savings.